Day number 5 of Chicago Bears training camps in the books, and let's talk about everything that happened. What's going on, guys? I'm back with another Chicago Bears training camp update video, which I'll be doing every single day at training camp this year. As usual, I'm doing a ticket giveaway, so congrats to yesterday's winner. If you leave any comment down below in this video, you'll be randomly selected to win 2 tickets to a training camp date in August. And if you guys could maybe leave your contact information in the comment, like maybe social media or email address, because I've been having some trouble contacting the previous winners of the past couple of days. I responded to the comments of the winners, but I have not gotten responses from some of these people. So if they don't respond, I'll give it away to other people. But yeah, leave your contact information maybe in the comment. It'll be easier for me to contact you if you win. But yeah, talking about practice today, guys, it was a very hot and humid, muggy day of practice. Players were sweating out there. It was super hot and the humidity was sky high. So pretty tough day of practice for these guys. And today was actually the first padded practice of training camp as well. So going forward, there's going to be a bunch more padded practices, and this is when real football is played. It's still practice, but you can take a lot more away from these padded practices than you can the non-padded ones because they're being a lot more physical. They're actually playing real football now. So cool to see the pads being on. But talking about injuries, first of all, some great news is that Luther Burden, our early second-round pick from this year, he returned to practice. He did not practice in the team portions. He was only out there for the individual portions. But still, to get him out there on the football field, that's great news for his recovery from the hamstring injury that he suffered earlier this offseason. And I saw a lot of Bears fans and media members especially complaining about Luther Burden, calling him a burden to the Chicago Bears just for missing a week of practice. Those people are absolutely stupid, and it's kind of annoying we have people like that in the fan base too that like freak out over nothing. Okay, it was just a minor injury. He missed some time, but he only missed 4 days of non-padded practice, so he really didn't miss that much. And now that he's back, for the padded practices, and hopefully he's going to be back in the team portions, he can start working towards earning that receiver number 3 role on the Chicago Bears. Like right now, Olamide Zaccheaus has that role because he's practiced a lot more and he's been in the NFL for a little bit longer. But Luther Burden for sure is going to be involved in the Bears offense this year. He was drafted so high in the second round. He was viewed as being a first-round prospect by a lot of people, a lot of analysts, draft analysts, right? So I'm a big fan of Luther Burden. I think he's going to do great things for the Bears, and this is a very positive sign that he's, returned to practice, and hopefully he's going to be fully healthy pretty soon. Talking about the other injuries, so Kiran Amegadjie returned from the injury he suffered a couple days ago. That's pretty good news. Braxton Jones and Darnell Wright also are practicing. Braxton Jones is ramping up, but it seems like he's almost done with this ramp-up period because he did perform in team drills today, which is a good sign. And Darnell Wright only had a rest day. He was never injured. But absent today were Doug Kramer, Shamar Turner, and Za Frazier. So hopefully those guys come back relatively soon. And an injury suffered during practice, so Tano Pasonian got carted off the field. We only signed him like last week, so prayers out to him. Hopefully he returns healthy, but it seems like it's not good if he got carted off the field. Wishing him the best of luck. But putting the injuries aside, guys, talking about what actually happened in practice. So according to Brad Biggs, it was more of a run heavy practice, which makes sense because the pads were on. He said that about 1 hour 45 minutes in sweltering humidity, major emphasis on run game with first day in full pads. Some of the past stuff was half speed or 2/3 speed, so not a lot to go off of. So obviously the run game is going to be a big focus for Ben Johnson. With the Detroit Lions, he ran the ball at one of the highest rates in the NFL. It was pretty split between passing and running, and the Bears don't have the running back talent that the Detroit Lions did. They don't have a Jahmyr Gibbs, a David Montgomery. They used to have a David Montgomery, but let him walk, unfortunately. But yeah, like the running back talent is definitely lower on the Chicago Bears, but we can still build a fantastic run game if the blocking up front is good, if it gets better than last year, if the run design is better than it was last year. Like, I still think that even though I'm not the biggest fan of DeAndre Swift, maybe he could be a Jahmyr Gibbs light in this offense. Maybe Roschon could be a Monty light. I mean, Roschon really hasn't played a lot the last 2 years, so we'll see what Roschon has. We got Kyle Monangai too, so You're really hoping this run game does get up to speed. The run blocking performs well this year because running the football is going to have to be a must if Caleb Williams is going to have a breakout year. Last year, he had to pass the ball 35, 40 plus times a game sometimes, which for a rookie quarterback, that's not a good way to put him in a position to succeed. In his sophomore year, he's going to have a great run game around him to really run this offense at its peak level. So yeah, a lot of running the football today. I couldn't really find individual reports on which running backs did well per se, but good to see them practicing the run game. Talking about the passing game though a little bit. So it seemed like Colston Loveland again had a fantastic day of practice, catching multiple passes. According to Bear Report, they said that strong 7-on-7 period for tight end Colston Loveland with a few grabs. And then Zach Pearson said that nice grab by tight end Colston Loveland in 7-on-7s. Went up and snagged it. So it's really exciting that Colston Loveland is shining already in practice. He had a really good day the last day, and even today made a fantastic grab in the middle of the field, had to leap for it. He made multiple catches in 7-on-7s. It seems like he's already being favored by Caleb Williams to some extent in this passing attack, and it makes sense because working that middle of the field, maybe being that big slot guy, like he could really thrive in this offense. He could get a lot of catches in his rookie year, and if he has reliable enough hands, if he can make some magic happen after the catch, he could have a pretty tremendous rookie season. So really excited with this pick so far. It's super early, but there was always a lot to like in Colston Loveland's frame. I think he fits the Bears offense a lot better than Tyler Warren does because he complements Cole Kmet a lot better. He has a different skill set than Cole Kmet and vice versa. I mean, Cole Kmet is a better blocker, but Colston Loveland is going to be the better receiver. He has more athleticism than Cole Kmet. We're not going to phase out Cole Kmet entirely, but I do think these two could coexist, and Loveland being in the slot, maybe the big slot role, like he could get a lot of targets this year. So glad to see him performing well in practice so far. Going over to the defense, I haven't talked about Grady Jarrett yet, the player that we signed from the Atlanta Falcons. According to Alex Shapiro, he said that Bears did some one-on-one compete drills with pads on. Grady Jarrett looked disruptive as ever. That's good news on one of the biggest signings of the Bears offseason this year. That signing kind of went under the radar because Grady Jarrett is not, he's not in his prime anymore for sure. He's definitely older now and not the same as he was, 5-6 years ago, but he's still a damn good football player for the Falcons. He's been so reliable for the past 10 seasons, and he raises the floor of this Bears defensive line so tremendously because now we don't have to rely on Zach Pickens, for example. I mean, Zach Pickens, at this point, I'm calling him a bust. He's been so bad the last 2 seasons. So to get an actual veteran in here that can, rotate in with Andrew Billings, with Javon Dexter, Shamar Turner, and perform against the run, maybe push the pocket a little bit, it's going to really help the Bears defensive line. And he's been a great mentor for some of the other guys on this team. He's been a big leader already, even though he just signed this offseason. He has that veteran voice in the building now, which can be very beneficial to a guy like Javon Dexter or some of the other young guys on the D-line. They're really going to thrive off of Grady Jarrett's energy and his leadership abilities for this team. Moving over to talking about some of the 11-on-11. So there weren't a whole lot of reports about these because, again, it was mostly run game focus, and the passing game concepts that they did do, they were ran at half speed. But according to Bear Report, he said that not an encouraging start for first-team offense in first 11-on-11 drill today. A PBU by Brisker, a false start, and then a play blown dead for a sack. So at least according to the limited reports we got, it seemed like the defense had the better day in 11-on-11s. Now, again, very limited sample size because it was mostly just running the football. But when they did try to pass the ball, it was a lot of great things by the defense. Jaquan Brisker with the PBU. It seems like there was a sack against Caleb. So love to see the defense really thriving out here. I have big expectations for the Bears defense under Dennis Allen, and with the additions we made on the D-line and hopefully some ascensions from young players, we can be a good defense, hopefully a top 12 defense this season. And lastly, I want to talk about Ben Johnson and just his coaching ability, which has already been on display so far. So according to Brendan Shagru, he said that Hightower talks about Ben Johnson being active in special teams drills and picking his brain. I've been on a number of staffs, and I can't say all head coaches do that. So You know, a lot of fans had the worry that Ben Johnson being only an offensive coordinator, like, is he going to have the ability to be a head football coach? Because being a head football coach is so different than just being a play caller. You have to really be involved with every part of the team, because now at the end of the day, if the Bears win or lose a game, the responsibility is going to be put on the head coach. Like, he's not going to be able to blame individual coordinators. He is the top guy in charge. So I like that he's already, helping out with the special teams and, picking Hightower's brain to learn more about special teams and what he can do to maybe help out that side of the ball. So, really exciting stuff. So far, Ben Johnson has passed his coaching test with flying colors. It seems like players really respect him. Practices are really hard and intense. They're really paying attention to the details. And, the main test for him is going to be when the games start, okay? Until he wins games, until the Bears offense does well, nobody's going to crown Ben Johnson. But early returns so far in practice, they're pretty damn good. Okay, I'm really loving this hire at this point in time. But leave your comments down below, guys. What do you guys think about practice today? I'll be back with another video tomorrow. And tomorrow, I will actually be at practice myself. So if you guys see me out there, definitely be sure to say hi. I'm super excited to be at practice for the first time this year. I'll be having a lot of tweets out on my Twitter account too, at DWCProds, if you guys want to follow along with what's happening in practice. But yeah, I can't wait for tomorrow, guys. As always, bear down.